Hi guys to everyone, I'm Ada from Poison Rock, and today I have an honor for me because it's a project, a solo project, really interesting. We have repeat again for me because I'm having issues.
Skagasawa.
John from the solo project Blackbraid. It's an amazing honor. First of all, how are you? The common question.
Sorry, I lost you for one
I
second. I'm
said,
sorry.
how are you? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm great. The album is coming out right now, pretty much. So,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like it's been a really long road, and it feels like it's finally kind of kind of ending, and I feel great, to be honest. Yeah.
That's amazing. Of course, before digging a little bit about the three single that has been released previously and the album as well now, that will be out. I mean, speaking at the present, that is already out. I want to dig about how about your musical background. So, of course, a lot of people I read a lot of interview asked you about this. So probably you say this question a lot. But how you started to get in touch with music? So how John actually decided to perform music. So your first meeting with music.
Yeah. Um, I've been playing music most of my life, I guess, at this point. It's crazy to say, to think of it that way, but I
Yeah.
think I'm definitely like a guitarist at heart. Like I've always kind of been a guitarist, and Blackbraid like kind of started with guitar.
Yeah.
Um but I started playing guitar when I was really young. I think I was probably like maybe like 7 or 8. I don't know.
Really young.
Um yeah, my dad had a guitar, like a folk guitar, like a little acoustic
Mm.
thing, and I started messing around with that. Yeah, probably real young, probably like 7 or 8 years old, and after I was doing that for like a few months and not giving up, they finally like broke down and got me my own. And
Your own guitar.
uh so yeah, I've been playing it most of my life now, I guess. I'm almost 33 and be 33 next
Yeah,
month, so
I'm 34, so we are the same. Don't worry, we are all old. Old. I mean, not probably old, we're aging. Let's say like that. So, and of course, Black Braid is a particular project. I mean, we saw all around the world solo project, which is something really tough and brave to do because you take care about everything. So, but before Black Braid, did you have other project? I mean, did you play for, I don't know, in a band or just by yourself?
um yeah, not too much. Like when I
Okay.
was younger, I did play in bands and stuff. Like crappy metal bands and
Okay.
local stuff. Nothing anything like huge. And like I said before, I was always like a guitarist.
Yeah.
Um, I was always doing lead guitar. I never really and honestly, like when I was younger, I kind of I like wasn't fully
Yeah.
invested in it really. Like it was more just like a way to like party and have
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
like I would write like melodies and solos and stuff as like a lead guitarist, but like I wasn't
Mm.
writing like the bulk of the songs, and
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't like putting any of my emotion into them really, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like
Yeah, just like something really instinctive, something like at the moment, like say for maybe for having fun and enjoying time.
yeah, so like I Blackbraid's definitely the first time that I'm like writing and kind of invested in it, I would say.
Yeah, and so for getting to the core, how it's Black Braid start? You decide to start.
Yeah, I started it it's hard to say. It wasn't really like it kind of it was so organic. It came out of nowhere a bit.
Uh,
I guess it was about this time last year
okay, so pretty.
um that I started writing. I wrote Barefoot Ghost Dance was the first song I
Yeah.
wrote. And then after it I wrote River of Time like pretty shortly after, and I decided to put those two out first and record them first because they were the first ones. And so yeah, it was like this time last summer, I think, where I was just finishing up that second one, and I didn't really know I hadn't written the lyrics yet. But
Yeah.
I wrote all the instruments at that point pretty much. And I didn't really know what I was gonna do. I was kind of just messing around when I wrote them. Like I didn't have a plan at all. But after I finished the first two, um, I really liked them. So I was just like, oh, fuck it. Like I'll put them out and like have give
Yeah.
myself a name or something. Um, and I really didn't think about it at all. Like I didn't really expect it to do very well, honestly, because there's so many solo black metal people
Yeah.
out there, and so many of them are great. There's just so much that like doesn't get noticed and gets overlooked these days with how much
Yeah.
metal there is.
Yeah,
So
yes. And I think all over the world there are solo musicians that does a lot, of course, because they are independent, and it's not easy get out of the country, especially if you are, some small city all around the world, and especially if you are lost in, I don't know, you have the good connection or really be talented. So I think for you, it's being really being talented, and I want to speak about the first two singles you released. So like Barefoot, Ghost Dance, and The River of the Time. What get? I mean, because of course they have, of course, a black metal background, but I perceived like a little bit of, because I saw your connection with nature as well. I mean, I am someone that really lives in the folk music, in nature, in the atmosphere, in the energies. So I feel like there is kind of an exchange of energies with the nature itself. So I perceive from your music that as well, which for me listening, folk Norwegian, blah blah, is different. And as well, I don't know if you know Ozzy and Jupiter. They are from Appalachian Mountain. I perceived all these energies, and from you, I perceived the same. So, how much, I mean, from in the song, the nature and it will have an impact?
yeah, no, I definitely agree. That's like a huge part of my vision with Blackbraid is kind
Yeah,
of uh like taking nature and like the way I see it and the way I perceive it and the nature that I like live in and surrounded by and um all of Blackbird is kind of like an ode, kind of
yeah,
like a way to honor it, I guess, and kind of
yeah,
bring it and share it with the rest of the world because
yeah,
it's just something so beautiful to me and it really is like most of my inspiration all comes from nature like
yeah,
it's just it's like it's an endless inspiration, so
yeah.
it
I agree.
just seems like the most genuine thing I could write about. Um,
Yeah,
and I don't really think about, I don't know, it wasn't like a conscious decision. It's just like there's nothing else I'd really rather write about. Um, so it
yes,
all ends up being about nature, I think.
yes. And regarding the black metal sound, because of course I know that it's been asking you a lot, is associated most of the time with the same land, what I'm speaking about, all the same land. And of course it's been worldwide played, but always comes with the coldness, the darkness. So in your vision, black metal, which type of role plays in your music? I mean, which is the message that black metal speaks?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree too. It's like, uh, like you said, black metal
Yeah,
traditionally comes from like, you see a lot of like Northern and Eastern Europe, and
yeah,
it's heavily tied to the mountains there and, that harshness and,
yeah,
um, kind of that unforgiving, the coldness, all of that, that comes along with winter in the north.
yeah, exactly.
Um, and honestly, like where I live is pretty much the same. Like we're on like the same latitude. But I've been to Europe a bunch of times too, and like
Yeah,
the forests and the mountains are all like so similar looking. It's like not hard to see why it translates so easy, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
We have like big, um, the Adirondacks are very much like Northern Europe, like some of the Scandinavian mountains
yeah.
and
I
stuff.
mean, a level of landscape and scenario speaking, but as well, black metal. Many bands associated with the northern beliefs, the northern, I don't know, shamanism, the northern, everything about the northern world,
Yeah.
which is not, of course, I think it's not worldwide because people, I don't know, from Brazil, they can, I mean, they can write, but it's different because of, I mean, for you, of course, you don't take inspiration from northern belief.
Hmm.
So how does I work with that? I mean, you did it, you choose to not, of course, it's not on your path. The northern belief, I guess.
The what belief?
The northern belief, like Odin, Valhalla, all this destroy the
Oh yeah, yeah,
satanic
yeah.
world, is more like you were speaking, connected to nature.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, there is like a lot of similarities, but in the end, I do avoid stuff like that. And also
Yeah,
uh, like satanic themes and stuff. I love satanic black metal. Like I listen to so much of it, but um,
yeah, I agree.
it's not like it just seems like it doesn't fit. Like I really want to keep the music I write like
Yeah,
kind of from the heart and
yeah,
genuine.
yeah,
And as much as I have respect for like Norse culture and stuff, like it's not a part of me. Like
yeah,
I wouldn't ever want to write. I don't think it would be good if I wrote that black metal. It would just kind of seem forced, and
yeah,
uh,
not, yeah, not
at the same
spontaneous.
time, I have like my own culture and everything that's like
Yeah, of
so
course.
untapped in the black metal scene, and um, I don't know. It just seems like there's so many parallels between the
Yeah,
two, but they're like so different at the same time. It just works so well. So
yeah, and of course, I was seeing the one of the you can say solos on the single you released, like a picture. There are two Native Americans, which is beautiful pictures. So I guess I know that it has an impact and as well of your music, the culture, which is your culture as well of a population that has been basically mistreated and forced to live in reserved places. So how much does design have an impact of you? I mean, with your music, you want to create awareness about this culture or surrounding the world, because I mean that some people are still ignorant about this in the world.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's sad. It is like it's so easy to be ignorant to it too because
yeah,
it's just like these are problems that people like still don't really talk about um or are kind of afraid to talk about. At least in the US, it's
really,
like a very taboo subject. Like yeah,
that's really
um
sad.
people a lot of white people like don't want to acknowledge like what happened on our land and stuff and all the genocide and the wars and stuff.
The
It
easy
gets like,
way. Yeah,
yeah, it's very much like swept under the rug and they kind of try to ignore it. It's getting a lot better. Like
yeah,
people are really kind of turning around and like being more
yeah,
compassionate and understanding about
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
history and everything. But it's definitely getting better, but it's still like a big issue here.
Yeah,
Um,
still something people, of course, living in the reserve that are being like, I mean, it's your land, it's their land, so they should
yeah,
be out there saying it's my land,
yeah,
coexisting. But it's something that, of course, people from, we can say, the continent, the old continent, always has been feeling a little bit. I don't want to speak about politics, but feeling a little bit we own this place. So yeah, and of course, it's don't worry, it's still happening because I live in an island in Sicily. We have a kind of a lot of mixture of people. So people that actually was born, I mean, lived in Sicily, basically get lost. So because we have a lot of the on influences, we have dominated by a lot of countries, so we don't know who are Sicilian anymore, where they are. So it's as well something that people don't understand. But I see, coming back to Latin America, I'm seeing right now that a little that there is a little bit of awareness in as well in the TV show, for example, because they're putting out a TV series. It's called, I think, Reservoir Dogs, all produced by
oh yeah,
Native
yeah.
American. That's amazing, and it's all happening about at the same time of you going out with the album, releasing the album. I was like, this is the perfect timing.
It really is. I didn't even think
Yeah,
of that. But yeah,
yeah,
we were watching that show the other night actually. Yeah.
that,
Um yeah, it's really awesome. It definitely seems to kind of like be coming all at once on like
yeah.
multiple channels. It's not just black
Yes.
metal.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because as well, yeah. And of course, you released the previous week was, I think, I mean, now will be like 2 weeks when the interview will be out. Sakadanga is the right pronunciation? Okay. So this is the song that goes into the album, the first single of the album, Blackbraid's one. Okay, so let's speak about this song and the album and the composition, and of course, it's we will go later with further questions. Let's start speaking about Sakadanka and the first video clip as well you released.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It was the first one, and I didn't really plan it that way.
really.
Second Daga was, yeah, it was kind of like it's still really crazy to me because it's only been a week since I
Yeah,
released it, and everyone like really loves it. And a lot of people say it's their favorite one, which is funny to me
yeah, it's
because
beautiful.
I wasn't even really gonna make it a single ever. Like in my mind, it was always just those first two that were always out would be
Yeah,
the two singles. But the album got delayed with the vinyl and like the CD
yeah,
backup and stuff, and I didn't want to not put something else out in between.
yeah, yeah,
And I also wanted to do a video after the first two songs got so much bigger than I ever thought they would. So like, when I started, I'd never imagined making a video. Like it wasn't on my I just
yeah,
wasn't thinking about it at all. Like if I could have, I really would have liked to do the video for the River of Time song because I love that one. But we just busted out the lyric video instead
yes.
because back then it wasn't nearly as big as it is now. And um at some point in the spring I was like it we really started gaining momentum, and I was like, "Oh, I think we really need to make a video now." So, and then my wife, who does all the video and stuff, like helped
She
convince.
did as well the video clip.
Yeah, well, we do pretty much everything between the two of us. Like she took all the
That's
shots of.
amazing.
Yeah, she did like, yeah, she produced the video and like cut it and everything. She did all the shots of me. A lot of the nature shots I did myself, and she did some of them too. Um, but yeah, same thing with the other video too, the River of Time. That lyric video is all I took all those myself. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like a couple miles from here. It's not far.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah. So anyway, um, I actually yeah, we didn't plan on doing a video for that,
yes.
and it was kind of like a last minute thing. Like, oh, I should make a video for this album, but the two singles have already been put out. So it's like, oh well, I guess we'll just make Sakandaga a third single.
Second, yeah,
Like I didn't ever plan to even release that song as a single or anything, but it was kind of just I wanted to make a video, and it was the next one left.
yeah.
So,
That's
so it's crazy to me to see how much people love it, because like
yeah.
I yeah, it wasn't a single in my mind until like a few weeks ago when we
It was
released it, and now
released, it's
it's
been released, yes, and now the
yeah.
album is out. Because it's
Yeah.
out. Let's say while we're speaking, the album is gonna be out. So, speaking about the album, there's, of course, you being a solo project. How was the composition back then? Because you have to play everything.
Yeah. Um, well, I do almost everything myself. My friend Neil,
Okay.
who records everything for me,
Okay.
we do it all at his in his house there. But he's an amazing drummer. So me and him write the drums together, and then he'll track them, and then I do everything else.
Okay.
But I I need to really I have to finish the songs kind of before we do that anyway. So I have him like drums.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can give him
Okay.
like a good bass for the drums. So I mean, I guess it changes all the time. Like I kind of am always writing lyrics, and I'm also
Yeah.
always writing guitar, and then I kind of just mash them until they fit. And usually at some point, like when it starts to form into like a clear
Definitely.
idea with a full song, I'll hit him up and we'll just start writing drums, and then
Yeah.
we'll go from there. I mean, it's usually, yeah, it's pretty organic. I kind of just I guess I make it up as I go. for
Yeah.
most of them. Yeah.
And if you really want, for example, there is a song because usually I say for people who doesn't know you which song you advise, but I would like to ask you if there is a song in particular of this album that it's really dear to you, like you cherish mainly than the others. Like for you, it's like the song that can put the heart of Blackbraid.
Yeah, I don't know really. It's too hard to say.
Yeah,
Um,
I
uh, it really changes. It changes all the time.
yeah.
Um, there's a song on there that's probably the softest song on the album.
Okay,
Uh, called or one of the softest. It's almost there's like two acoustic songs too, or two soft
okay,
ones. But there's a song on there called Warm Wind Whispering Through Hemlock at
okay,
Dusk. Um, I like that one a lot. That one's like it's instrumental and it's maybe the one I feel closest to, but it's also
okay.
probably the most boring out of all of them.
No,
So,
I
and it
mean,
doesn't really sound like the rest, so I guess you can take that as you want, but
yeah, yeah.
they all my favorite changes, like I always think I have a favorite and then it changes, like I can never
Like
decide.
after 20 minutes, you have another one. You're like, yeah, yeah. Of course. I mean, it's the first album releasing, and I think that uh, going out for if you, I mean, you had all this success in I don't know, like in 1 week, you're going forward. And of course, you would say that it is a solo project, but you didn't have still played live, right?
What was that?
You didn't still play some gigs live with
Oh,
with
not yet.
Blackbird. Okay, so
No.
you are planning to do it?
Yeah. We have
Okay.
two booked right now just
Oh,
for this fall. My first one's really soon, actually. It's in like 2 weeks.
okay.
In LA,
Okay.
or technically in Long Beach, which is like right outside of LA, I guess. Um, but that, and then we have a New York City one
Okay.
at St. Vitus, in October as well.
Okay. So
Um,
for that you booked a musician. I mean, you have a musician with you.
yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah.
took live performance. Yeah.
Full band, full band for all of the live stuff, and then
That's
next year we'll definitely be playing more live too. I definitely like
yeah. Yeah,
want to branch out.
I saw in the Facebook group of Midgardsblot from Norway, they are claiming you for the next year edition. Already someone wrote Black Braid, because they were, betting who will be the next performer. And it wouldn't be bad, like, because you fit really good there, because it's kind of mixture of all ethnicities, of all music, sound, cultures. Who knows?
Yeah,
I,
I
I
would.
saw I loved your name there today.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
I love Midgard's Blot. Like we would
Really?
be, yeah, we would be honored to play there. We were there, me and my wife, just as fans, maybe 2019. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Before the lockdown came in, yes.
yeah,
The previous edition, yeah. Yeah, it would be amazing, and I can put some words as well because I know one of them organizer there, so I can put some word because it would be really cool. I mean, as well because I think it would be like a jump to Europe as well.
yeah. We no, I would really love to play that, and I don't want to, I don't want to jinx it, but um, they always do like Beyond the Gates in Bergen, like the weekend
Okay.
right before or after. So it's like it would be pretty easy to do both of them if we're already
Wow.
over there.
Yeah, yeah, but I
So
think that, believe me, I think that in 1 year you will be there for sure. That's for sure because I just, I don't know, send you one a the last single coming out to a friend of mine who played in a black metal band in Switzerland, so completely different. And was like, wow, I'm interested. What? So tell me more. It's like, just stay tuned. You will see the interview. I'm not saying anything more. So people are interested, here and there. Like, so you put out something really nice, and like we were saying, you're completely independent. You don't have label, if I'm wrong, if
no,
I'm right.
yeah.
That's
I definitely don't want a label. I'm pretty
thanks.
happy.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I love label because I work with them, but it's amazing you're being independent because this is the strength of a musician as well.
Yeah.
You are free.
I we were like this close. I almost did a label for a couple times, but like no.
So,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
I'm like very happy that we
yeah,
decided not to. It's pretty cool to get the
yeah,
offers, you know, but
yeah,
I
yes.
we're not. I'm not gonna get a label now.
Yes, and of course, and then in the album and in the vinyl, there is this amazing artwork. Who is behind this artwork? Because as well as something that people talk about a lot about this artwork.
Oh yeah. That artwork, yeah, is phenomenal.
Yeah, I wanna
I'm
tattoo
so
him.
happy with
So
it.
that's amazing.
I know, me too. Me
Yeah, I
too,
wanna find the
actually.
spot, but I don't have any. So what the fuck? It's huge.
I know. Um, that was done by Adrian Baxter, who's
Amazing.
based in the UK, and he's awesome. He's he's done some pretty cool stuff in black metal in the last few years. Like
Yeah,
last year, he did a album cover for Paradise Lost, which was pretty big.
yeah, yeah,
And he's done stuff for like Cloak and Shamash. I like Shamash a lot, who are Polish. But
yeah,
they that's how I found him.
yeah, yeah.
Was he was doing work for them, and yeah, I mean I've been following him for
Yeah, I will
years
book him for a tattoo. Yeah,
before Blackbraid. So like when I started looking for an artist, I kind of just knew I wanted him already because I
yeah.
love his work so much. So.
That's amazing. And of course, the meaning, like I say, the meaning of the artwork, in your opinion, what could it be?
I kind of just wanted it to. I waited till the album was done to get it done, and I made sure he had the full album and everything too.
Okay.
And I gave him, I gave him some direction too, but we definitely kind of like went 50-50 on the
Okay.
creation of it.
Yeah.
But I really just wanted it to feel like like a really solid representation of the album, like as a whole, I guess, because the album really is kind of its own entity in my mind. It's like it flows very evenly, and all the songs are kind of related in their own way, and it's like a
Yeah.
very it just it just feels like a very like its own thing, I guess. So um
Yes.
yeah, I just like that was my main concern, was making sure that I wasn't really sure how to do it, but making sure that that art was just like, I want you to be able to look at the art and know
Yeah.
exactly what the album is like, you know?
Uh,
Yeah.
That we can say that you're pretty satisfied with the work that is coming out, that is good, that is out now. So basically, which is amazing. And of course, now I want to ask you a little bit about the influences that are in Blackbraid in you, because I can say, in different, when I'm multiple members of the band, I ask the influence of the band and the members, and I can ask you your influence, and that's all. Two questions.
um yeah, as far as influence, I don't know. I have so much, it's so hard to say.
Could be
Um
as well could be as well from music, as well from books, as well just in general, like you feel that
yeah.
influenced you in as a musician.
Um yeah, well, I mean, nature will always be the first thing.
Yeah,
We already talked about that. Like
yeah, that's all.
um kind of, I think I'm very lucky to be able to live in nature and like see it in the way that I do. So that's like my main focus with Blackbraid, is
That's
always kind of taking that you know, it's like a privilege almost to have that connection with nature. So it's like taking that and kind of making it accessible to other people
yeah.
through my music. Um but yeah, I mean, obviously I love black metal too. Like it's also kind of like I don't know. I love a lot of like Scandinavian black metal,
Yeah,
and some of the like the more darker and satanic stuff, but again, I'm not really like a Satanist, and I love the music,
yes,
but it's like um uh the themes like don't really do it for me sometimes. So I kind of like to take stuff like that too, like that kind of sound, and kind of put my own thing
yeah,
into it,
yeah.
and kind of, yeah, take the best parts of that stuff and kind of make it my own, I guess.
Yeah, and if you could
Um,
have, for example, the chance to just, let's say, you would have the chance to go on tour with some musician you like, or in a festival with bands you like. which bands you would put in with you playing live? Just imagine
Man,
and
I don't know.
dreaming.
Yeah, if we, I mean, if we want to be realistic, like bands that are around now,
Or just even
um,
be not realistic. It's just your
I
dream. Let me
mean,
say it like that.
when it comes to black metal, Dissection has always been a
That's
huge
actually.
influence on me. Like, if I could play with anyone, it would be Dissection, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, out of like the modern bands that are still around and stuff, I think it would be really sweet to play with Vatane, maybe.
Good thing, yeah.
Um, I would love to tour with someone like that. Um, or I really love Immortal and Abyss.
Yeah.
They're separate now, but
Yeah,
either
but
one
there
of
is
them,
yeah, other things that
Yeah.
maybe is more accessible as well.
Um, yeah. There's some like big American artists that I love too that like aren't black metal, but I
Okay.
think it would be really cool to like tour with some other US guys. Like, um, obviously I love Metallica. That's like kind of high
Everyone we
hopes there.
started from
Um,
one part of the
but
music.
um, my buddy Jesse is in Killswitch Engage, and they're like more mainstream metal, but um, he's been helping me a lot too. Like
That's
he's such a good dude, but it would be really cool to tour with them one day. Um, just to be out on the road with him. I don't know if it's a good fit, but we'd have fun.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
Um, yeah,
it's always you have to experiment. I mean, this
yeah,
is the best of music. Experiment. I mean, you can experiment everything in your life, so you have to just do it.
yeah.
And May, what did you expect from all these Blackbraid situation? We're gonna say because video, like lives, album is like everything. It's aligned, so you just get out and play. What do you expect from that?
Um, man, I really don't know what to expect. Like that's a
Yeah,
hard question. Like, I've been taking it one day at a time at this point.
yeah,
I think people seem so excited. That's been the coolest part of everything. Like,
yeah,
people are just so happy and supportive, and like, um,
mm,
I'll never get tired of that. Like, it's so cool hearing
yeah.
how many people love Blackbraid. Um, and like, I hope it just keeps going in that direction. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I told
Um,
you, I think you would be a good fit for Midgard. That's for sure because I already, about, yeah, and one thing that I want to just do before we end, because we have few minutes left, is that except, the tradition, the guitar, bass, drums, did you use other instrument, for example, traditional instrument?
yeah.
Operacy, yeah, because it's something that I really like about that I read about you, so I wanted that even other people know about that.
Yeah, I do. I use a lot actually, and then uh it's not so relevant on the
Hmm.
first album here that just came out, but it's like always kind of in my vision to like I wanted this first album to be like a little more raw in like
Yeah,
standard black metal, and the second one would definitely have more. But it is it's still in the first album a lot. I just made it
yeah,
like pretty subtle, and you can't hear it in most of the songs.
yeah.
And it's not in all of them either. It's like in a handful, but there is flute. Like I
Okay.
play a traditional flute, like a cedar
Yes.
6-hole flute. I have that in two songs on the album. There's like a bone rattle that I use
Yeah.
in two or three different songs, but again, it's like really subtle, and you kind of
Yeah.
it's almost hard to know that it's there if you don't know where to listen for it. Um, there's that, and I think I use a skin drum in one song, and I use the skin
Okay.
drum a lot more on the next album too. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
so I try to mix stuff in there, but you like really need to listen to hear it
To
because
pay attention. Yeah.
it's pretty subtle in the first album anyway.
Yeah.
On the second album, the stuff I'm writing now, it's like a lot more easy to hear.
That's cool. That's really interesting. So people have to follow you for knowing more about as well about the second album when it will be released because and right now enjoy the first album. We can say like that. So what can I say? It was really a pleasure. And if you would just say a greetings to all the new fans. older fan already. I don't know, people that was watching this interview, and can I say I will put a word for Minecraft.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm
Sure.
like I can't tell you how excited we are for that. I've been talking about that with my live members for a bit too. So
Yeah.
like we definitely that one is definitely one that we want to do. But yeah, I really can't say how excited I am and how awesome it is, and thank you for having me.
It was really a pleasure, and I'll keep you updated about Winning Lot anyway. I will write you if I get in touch with them. And really, thanks to your music, it's amazing, and always keep doing it because it's important knowing there is other type of, we can say, black metals with different topic. It's important and it's amazing. And really congratulations to your wife. She's amazing photographer and video making. She's an artist. She's amazing. So greetings to her as well. And thank you so much. And good luck with everything.
Thank you, thank you.
Bye. Bye.
See ya.